everyone, welcome to episode 42 of the arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all of my knitting things, now spinning things too, and yeah, just talk about my finished objects, if I have any works in progress, and some acquisitions. Always lots of yarn, lots of fiber now too. So yeah, we'll just get started because I have some, well, I feel like every week I say I have exciting things, but it's because I really do have exciting things that I've been working on every week pretty much. Okay, so starting off with how I usually do it, with what I am wearing. And this is my best vest. It's a pattern by jamesnwatts. And the yarn I used is biglittleyarnco in the Superwash Merino DK base, and the colorway is Majyo. It is from the Studio Ghibli pre-order collection earlier this year, and this colorway was one of the ones for Kiki's delivery service, I believe, and I really like it. I love how this color came out. I am like really obsessed, kind of. I mean, it sounds crazy to be like maybe obsessed with how a colorway like knitted up. I don't think so. I think that's like normal and fine, but like I really like how it came out. I'm very happy with how this color came out. Now if you watched last week's video, I did talk about this vest because it was huge. It is huge, and I was not sure if I was going to have to redo parts of it, like to rip back and redo, just because especially like the v-neck and the armholes looked huge. And as you can see, and I'll stand up soon so you can see the full thing, I actually did not rip back. I just continued on. I finished the vest, and I for the most part liked how it came out, but I will continue talking about this vest. Also I made size extra small, and I'm pretty sure I used the recommended needle size, so I used US 5 for the ribbing and US 7 for the rest. Okay, and then the way I'm styling this, I don't think I can give styling advice, but the way that I am wearing this is a white long sleeve. I feel like a black long sleeve would be better, but I don't have one, so for today, it's just a white long sleeve. Actually, that way you can probably see the vest a bit better. But also final measurements for this, and I'll, again, continue to talk about the measurements for this because I found it very interesting. Final measurements, I got 36 inches in circumference, and that gives me 6 inches of positive ease. So I will now stand up so that you can see, and I will try to do like a full, I don't know. Okay, so I am standing up. The v-neck, it's actually not too bad. The armholes lay here for me. It is lower than where the v-neck is, as a note. And then length, I will try and tippy toe here since I can't go back any further. Okay, so here it is. My pants are, I guess my belly button's like right here. My pants top is like right here, and the vest is like pretty much covering my butt. So yeah, so hopefully that gives a better idea on the vest and how it fits on me. I do want to talk about how it ended up working out, because seriously, again, if you watched last week's video and I showed what I had, I think that I had the two fronts done, and of course, okay, so this vest is worked bottom up, and so you can't do any of like the finishing neck ribbing before you're done to adjust or anything, or like to see how it's done. You really have to finish knitting the whole thing, and then the last things you do are the neckline and the armholes, pretty much, because you have to finish knitting and joining at the shoulder before you can do the neckline or the armhole ribbing. So I pushed through because I wanted to see how it looked finished, and if the sizing was not right, I was going to rip back. Like, that was my plan. But I actually like how it turned out. I actually also wore this yesterday to see how I felt about it, and I do like it. It is oversized. It is longer than I was anticipating, but that is just because some of the pictures that I, like the Ravelry project pages that I looked at for this vest, people cropped it. So when they were working bottom up, they didn't work the full length that the pattern says, so they shortened it by like 2 or 3 inches, maybe even 4 for some. And I would have known to do this if I read the pattern notes before I started, but I didn't. But I will say the length is actually okay. I think it looks fine on me. So again, I am keeping this. I will wear it. I think it does look really cozy. The V-neck ended up being fine depth-wise once adding the ribbing, because if you can see, this ribbing is at like 2 inches, I think. I think it's around 2 inches. And so without it, it looked ridiculous, but with it, it looks fine. Also, I think the ribbing helped to like keep it tighter. Does that make sense? Instead of kind of like pulling it down, like the ribbing kind of helped to bring everything a bit closer, especially because it's worked on smaller needles. So it does kind of help, I think, to keep it from drooping, if that makes sense. Same goes for the armholes. I will say though, I do kind of wish, like it looks fine, although I think if it just closed up a little higher, that would have been more preferable for me. But again, like if your arms are down, like you can't really tell. And yeah, I do like how the shoulder like drops down like over my shoulder. I do like how that looks and fits. And so overall, I think this ended up being a success. I am just like kind of, I guess I'm just shocked. I was like, there is no way that this is going to fit me. It's going to be too huge, but it actually looks okay. However, I will say, so I did, since I blocked it and it's now completely finished, I did recheck all my measurements. I looked at the schematic and checked all of my measurements, and it turns out, so my gauge is just slightly smaller. I think that I wonder if I have the project page up, because I like literally was just checking this. Okay, so the gauge is 18 stitches by 28 rows, and I believe that my gauge was like 18 and a half stitches, and it differed in different places on the vest. So I did check gauge like in different places, and in some places I did get the 28 rows, and in some I got like 29. So my gauge ended up being a little smaller, which means my measurements, like this vest actually came out smaller than the schematic in some areas, if you can believe it. So I believe the overall length actually might have, I think is a tad shorter than the schematic. I checked the V-neck depth, and I could, like, for this extra small size, it said 10 inches, and mine came out to be 7. So I don't know if my version, if it actually came out to schematic, if that would be like too deep, but for me it like worked out. The armhole depth is to the schematic, which is, well, I guess armhole circumference was 24 inches, and body circumference was supposed to be 38.75 inches, and mine came out to be 36. So it did come out smaller, but I actually really like how it came out. And so it's overall great. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with it. I think it's really cute. Again, I love the color choice for this. And I think I want to make more vests. Maybe, okay, so if I make this pattern again, I would make a more cropped version, because again, like, it is long and it looks fine. It's very like oversized and cozy, but I think next time I would want it to be like these, sorry, this is my long sleeve shirt, but like something a little shorter like this. That might be like 3 inches shorter. Something like that. If I decide to make this again, I don't know if I will, but I do want to make more vests. And I think now that are we like trying to say that it's fall right now? Like honestly, it's still kind of hot here in Seattle. Like there were some cold days this week, but it's still hot. Like right now I'm a bit sweaty, so, but it's fine. But it's a good transition piece, right? So maybe more vests in my future if I see a really cute pattern. So yeah, that is the best vest. It is also my first, well, my only finished object for this week. But yeah, that was a very long what I am wearing section, but it was also a finished object, so I think that that is okay. So again, best vest. I'm very happy that it's done. It was made in DK weight yarn, and so it was easy to just kind of like keep going and continue working on it and to get it finished this week. And so I am happy to have a finished object because there's so many things I want to cast on, but we will get to that. Okay, so next up, my whips. Okay, as always for the next, I don't know how many weeks, we are going to start off with Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. Okay, let's grab it here. All right. Once again, or if you're new here, I don't know, Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. I have been working on this for probably a couple months now, maybe even 3, 4, I don't know how many months, but we are just on the gigantic Suri collar, and let's see how much I worked this week. I think it was like 4 rows. This is my stitch marker showing how much progress I made from last week. I think it was just 4 rows, but at least it's getting worked on. I think I need 3 more inches of the Suri collar. I mean, it's all squished on my needle, so maybe it doesn't look that huge, but it's pretty massive. Okay, I will say the only thing that really is hard for me to get to work on this Suri collar is just doing the wrong side rows because it's worked flat. Doing the knit row is fine. It's totally fine because I can do that pretty fast. My purling is not super slow, but it's just not my favorite thing to do. So doing an entire row of purl stitches is just not really appealing to me. So, but I do think that if it's ever cooler inside my apartment that I would want to work on this because it's just massive, and so when I work on it and it sits on my lap, like it keeps me really warm, which is nice when it's cold, but not fun when it's really hot inside like right now. So we will get it done sometime this year, and it'll be perfect to wear when the weather's really cold. But yeah, that's just my update on this right now. The yarn I am using, again, is for the body. It was the labienaimee Merino twist base in the colorway Jinju. And then for the Suri, it is Autumn and Indigo Suri silk in the colorway Rosewood. So yeah, and I am knitting size 1 using US 3 size needles. Okay, next. I have some progress on my test knits because they're test knits, and the deadline for this one is coming up pretty soon, I think within the next week. So this is, it's looking so cute. This one is the Kuutar wrap by Sari Nordlund, and I do not remember if I put a stitch marker on where I was last time. So, oh, maybe it was, no, was I on a sleeve? Anyway, I finished the body, I finished the right sleeve, and now I am on the left sleeve, and I am almost done with the left sleeve. I think I am close to doing the ribbing for the cuff, but here it is. It's so cute. Let me try and like show the lace panels in the front. And the yarn I'm using, also look how cute the yarn is. It is explorerknits, Denali sock, and the Suri Alpaca lace. Suri Alpaca lace? Is that the full name? in gumwall, both of them in gumwall. And I think it came out so cute. It's so soft and fluffy. I really like how it looks. Very happy with it. Also really happy to be using this colorway. It is from the Seattle collection by explorerknits, and so I just knew I needed the pink gumwall, and it's really cute. I'm very happy about it. I am knitting size 1, and I am using US 6 needles. Oh, this is, well, let me update this in my notes. US 6 needles for the ribbing, and then US 8 for the body. I'm just updating it here so I don't forget. Okay. Or US 8 for like the main fabric. But yeah, so this is how it looks. And it is a wrap cardigan, and so there are increases for it to like overlap in the front. It's kind of hard. I feel like holding up wrapped cardigans are really hard to do. And then there's a hole on this side for when I do still have to make, I'm pretty sure they're I-cord strings, I-cord, you know, the long pieces to tie onto this so that it makes it a tied wrap. And I think it's really cute. I really like things that have ties and like bows, because I think bows are really cute, so I'm excited to get to that. But also it's not the most fun to knit I-cord, but you know, it's for the end result, it'll be really cute. So yeah, I am almost done with this. I'm pretty sure that this will be done, well, I think it has to be done by pretty much by the next podcast, so keep an eye out for this pattern. And if you haven't heard of any of like the Kuutar, if you like this lace pattern, Sari Nordlund has a whole bunch of other types of garments that use this same lace pattern, and they're all called like Kuutar top, Kuutar pullover, I think, and some other things. So yeah, so this is my version. Really like how that's looking and how it's coming up. Okay, have all the pink things. Next up is another test knit that I've made good progress on, I think. This is the Ashling Sweater by Maddie. And so here is what I have. So from last time, I was able to join in the round. This is worked bottom up, and it is a split hem. So you work the front hem first, and then the back, and then you join them. And yeah, so I think from last time I finished the back hem, the ribbed hem, joined in the round, and so now I am just doing stockinette knitting in the round. And oh, before I continue on, so Ashling Sweater. The yarn I'm using is Woolberry Fiber Co. in the Berry Suri base in the colorway Hello Autumn, which I'm so happy that I chose this color for this sweater. Like, I think it is perfect. It is perfect for like going into fall soon, and it's called Hello Autumn. Like, how cute. And I just really like how this colorway looks on the Suri as well. And I am knitting size 2, which is the finished circumference bust measurement of 36 inches. So this should give me about 6 inches of positive ease. And I'm using US, oh, I think I also need to update this in my notes. So US 2.5 needles for the ribbing, and now US 3 needles for the body, the main fabric. I did have to go down 1 needle size to get close to gauge for this. So yes, and yeah, so let me hold it up. Actually, I do want to hold up the side view of this because I love a split hem, and it is high-low, so it is shorter. The hem is shorter in the front than it is in the back. And then it also does this overlap section here. And I really, really like this. I had another top that did a similar join like this, and I just think it's so cute. I don't know why, but I really like it. So that's what it looks like right now. And oh, this is knit with 1 strand of Suri. I feel like a lot of, or maybe not a lot, just like when people think about Suri sweaters, it's usually, at least for me, I think cumulus blouse, and that's 2 strands of Suri held together. But this one is 1 strand, and so I'm very curious to see how this turns out. I think it's going to be really comfortable. I'm curious to see like if it feels any like lighter than, you know, the cumulus blouse, which I knit mine with 2 strands of Suri, so just very interested. I also really like how this looks with the 2x2 ribbing at the bottom. I'm very excited about this. So yeah, I also love how this colorway is looking with just the hints of those brown kind of like coming through. Very cute, I think. So yeah, lots of good progress on this test knit as well. The deadline for this one isn't until November, I think. So I've still got time, but I don't like to rush. So I do like to try and get a lot done up front as much as I can. Okay, next up I have progress on a sweater that I haven't worked on in weeks, like a lot. Like I don't even remember the last time I've talked about it. I worked on it a lot when I got my yarn for it, and then I just like stopped. So who remembers this? This is the Tessellated Pullover patterned by Andrea Mowry, and I believe that this is like her Rhinebeck sweater pattern. Like it got released, kits were sold. They're kind of like for Rhinebeck. Like I think Andrea Mowry does Rhinebeck sweaters every year, and so this was the pattern for this year. There's also a vest version of this, and I could not get over how cute her version was of the pullover, and so I wanted the exact same yarn and color as hers, and so this is what I have right now. It is worked bottom up, and I love how these colors are turning out together. It is something I would not have guessed that would go well, but let me pull out the balls of yarn just so you can like see individually what these look like. Oh, and then I can also tell you what these yarns are, since it's been so long that I think everyone's forgotten, even me. Okay, so let's see. The main color, which is this really dark green, I think it's having a hard time showing up on camera, is the Farmer's Daughter Fibers Spinster's Daughter in the color York. And then Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool colorway Every Rose is this one here. And then the Farmer's Daughter Fibers Oh Dang, which is the Suri base, in the colorway Clay. So this is everything, all the yarn that I am using for this project. And I am knitting size 1, and I am using US 2 and 4 needles for this. I believe 2 was for the bottom ribbing here, which was kind of long. I remember it being like, oh, that's a lot of ribbing, but I think it's gonna be cute. And then, yeah, for my main needle right now, I'm using US 4. I don't particularly like working on this project, only because the stitch pattern, so the stitch pattern is great because it looks like it's possibly color work, but you only work one color at a time, which is really nice. However, because there's 3 different yarn that is like attached to your work, you have to keep like untangling them every round you do. And it's not my favorite thing to do, like yarn management. So I think that's why I stopped working on this so much. Like once I got to the part where I could see this main pattern and the color worked up, I was like, I'm good, like it looks cute, and then I like stopped. But I really do want to get this done sometime, because again, like it's really cute. Like I just want the finished object for this. It's gonna be so much knitting, I think. So yeah, but I've made some progress. I do have a stitch marker for this. I think I worked maybe like an inch. So it's right here. I worked this much. I think that's pretty good for working on something that I haven't worked on in a while. So yeah, hopefully this will come back into like my rotation of things I work on during the week, but I also have a lot of other projects that are coming up, so we will see. But I do want to get this done because it is very cute. I really, really, really like this color combination, and I want to have the finished object of it. Okay, so that is that. Next up, okay, I have a new cast on, but it kind of, I have like 2 new cast ons, but one of them I am going to frog. So let's talk about that really quick. Okay, 1 second, and it's like under everything else that I'm going to talk about. Okay, okay. That took me a very long time. Okay, so I really wanted to cast something on with my Handspun yarn this past week, and so I was trying to figure out what to cast on. And so I was looking, because I also don't, it's not like I have a sweater quantity of Handspun right now, and so I was, yeah, again, just trying to figure out something small that I could knit up. Also now all of this yarn is just like tangled. Ugh, okay. But anyway, I wanted to cast something on. I cast on the, I think it's called the Rad Plaid Shawl. No, not shawl. Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And so I'll just show it to you quickly. So I started, it is actually the exact same stitch pattern as the Tessellated Pullover, but it would be a cowl scarf thing. And I kept working on it, and I was like, the color contrast is not, I like low contrast, but this is just like not even there. And if I'm going to use my Handspun for the first time, I kind of want to like see my Handspun yarn. And so I don't want to talk too much about it because it makes me kind of sad, because I spent a lot of time on this. And like I was saying about my Tessellated Pullover, like it's not really fun to knit this because of just the yarn management, and so I just feel like all the time was kind of wasted, but it's okay because at least I know. So yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Again, I am not good at choosing colors. I knew I would not be good at choosing colors for a stitch pattern like this because there's 3 different colors and I can't figure it out. And so this one was kind of a fail. I was using, not this one. Well, you know, I don't know if you remember, but I had like a 3 mini skein. It looked like a fade, like a pink purple thing, and so I started it with 1. This was my Handspun. It looks so cute, like all in a little cake like this. But yeah, so this was one of the colors, and then I used gray. I thought that the gray was neutral enough so that the pink of the Handspun yarn would show through, but I think it was too, they're both very light. So yeah, this was a Suri, this was some other yarn. So I am going to rip this out. I am going to rip this out. Makes me kind of sad, but I know that that is probably for the best because I wasn't totally happy with how it was looking. So I will probably make this pattern at some point again with Handspun, but I want more contrast in that. And I also I want to try to use yarn that I already have in my stash, and everything is sometimes, I don't know, I couldn't find any 3 colors plus a Suri that would all kind of work together, so I tried ripping this out, but let me put this down now. I decided I still wanted to knit something with my Handspun, so I decided to make the Manhattan Hat Light by Tori Yu. In some previous videos, also it's like blurry right now, so sorry. In my previous videos, if you've seen me talk about the Manhattan Hat by Tori Yu, I love that beanie so much. My first one, I made the Manhattan Hat bulky, and I used a bulky yarn from Woolberry. I love that beanie, and once the weather was too hot to wear beanies, I was so sad because I just wanted to wear it. Loved it so much. I got the pattern for like the normal, I think it's like a DK or worsted weight. I think it's worsted weight, just the regular Manhattan hat, like the original. Also got that, made that. Love it too. I actually wore it this morning because I was like, I think it's cold enough for a beanie. And it was okay, like, it was probably too warm for a beanie, but I really wanted to start wearing it. Anyway, I got the Manhattan Hat Light, which is made for sport weight yarn. I think that my handspun, like, it's the same, like, the 3 mini skein fade thing handspun. I did measure it out, and each one came out to be around 100 yards. And so, and then, yeah, all 3 together might have weighed a little over 100 grams. I need to check. I did take like pictures of like the yardage and the weight of all of them, but I might be at like a sport or DK weight with also some huge puffs in there. But yeah, so we're kind of seeing how it goes. I think it'll be okay. Honestly, even if I don't wear this beanie, I think it'll come out really cute, like my first handspun knit. So anyway, I started it, and here is what it looks like so far. It's looking stripy and really cute. You can definitely tell, actually more on this side, the parts where my spinning was just like uneven. So there's all of those huge like puffs, but I think it'll add character to this beanie. And again, whether or not I wear it or not, I think it's gonna look really, really cute, and I just love this hat also, so I feel good about it so far. I do like working on it, like knitting with my handspun just feels really cool, so it's been fun. I'm excited for this project. I don't know if, like, how often I will be working on this, but I think it's something that's fun right now, like, because it's pretty much just 1x1 ribbing in the round for just a long time. So it'd be a good like mindless project, and then be like, oh, I'm knitting with my handspun. Like, it's really fun and really cute to see how it's all working out and how all the colors are looking. So yeah, and oh, if you're curious about the fiber that I spun this yarn with, as a reminder, if you haven't seen the previous video, or like me, I just need a reminder, this is BFL in the colorway Whole Latte Love from Art and Alchemy Fiber Arts. And I just love how it came out. It is fiber that I bought from Flock, and so I feel really good that I have been working through the fiber that I bought from Flock. So cool. Okay. Oh, sizing. So I am making adult small size, and I'm using US 2 needles. I do think that my gauge is a little big for this. It could be because my yarn is probably bigger than a sport weight. It might be DK and bigger. Maybe is worsted above DK. I like almost never work with yarn that is bigger than DK weight nowadays, so I don't know. But anyway, so that is that. I think I was saying that because measurement wise for my head and the other Manhattan hats I made the adult medium size, but I did cast this on with the number of stitches for adult medium, and I was like, I think it's too big. So I'm doing adult small, and hopefully this would maybe fit or not be too big. So yeah, so that is my Manhattan hat light with my handspun. My first project, my first cast on with handspun yarn. Okay. Next, I have some spinning updates. So where to start? Oh, let me start with this first. Since we were talking about Flock fiber that I bought from Flock Fiber Festival. Okay, so this is, I think I might have spun everything, all the fiber from Flock, except for this one. And then it was a white wool, and I decided to dye it. This past weekend, I can't believe it was just this past weekend, I did some yarn dyeing, and then I also wanted to try and dye some fiber. And this was the only white colored fiber I had, and so I wanted to try and dye it, and I think it came out really cute. It was really fun to dye. So I want to dye more fiber in the future, but I do want to get through the rest of my fiber before I dye more fiber or buy more fiber to dye and or spin and spin. So anyway, this is the fiber. I put it into a braid. This is Kent Romney wool that I got from Northwest Yarns, and I believe that I got 2 ounces of this, so it is a little smaller, but I dyed it. I think I used 4 different colors to dye this. It looks really good. I think it came out really cute. I used like a gray, of course a pink, some green, and a peachy orange color, which is like right here. The peach orange came out so nice on this fiber because I think that like the mix of dyes, like the peach makes it look like I combined 2 different colors to make it. There's some pink and definitely some like yellow orange in it, and it came out really cute. Like I kind of want just that color on a fiber, I think. But this is how it came out. I think it's really cute, and I am just excited to see how this works up when I spin it and like how it looks once it's turned into yarn. So it's very pastel and very light, which is kind of different from other fibers that I've seen in general. So again, just very curious to see how it turns out when I spin it. And I do think that after my current spinning project that this will be the next thing that I tried to spin, because again, like since I hand dyed this, I'm just very curious to see how it will spin and turn into yarn. So that is one thing. And then next I have, so I have a couple bobbins here to talk about. So I think I did talk about this spin last time, but I will talk about it again. So I got 4 ounces, like I think most, again, I am still learning about fiber and stuff, but it seems like most fiber or like hand-dyed fiber comes in 4 ounces. So I got 2 like packs of this particular fiber and colorway. It is a Corriedale fiber, and the colorway is Sand Dunes from Bella Filato Studios, and I got it from La Mercerie. Actually, one of my friends got it for me from La Mercerie because they are now selling fiber, but only in store, not online yet. And I am planning on using this as a contrast color for a cinnabar shawl, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. Planning on making a cinnabar shawl with other knitting/spinning friends, so that's really fun. And I finished my first bobbin here. This is okay. I did a fractal spin, and then it's a 2-ply. If that's information that's interesting about spinning, and hopefully the camera will focus. I think it came out really cute. I love these colors. It's just very me. Kind of looks, I mean, very similar to maybe some other things I have, but I just love how this turned out. And then I just finished this morning spinning the singles for my like second skein of this color. And so again, I'm doing the same thing, so a fractal spin, and I'm planning on doing a 2-ply. So after this video, I will be plying these, and I'm really excited to see this in a skein, pretty much. I just can't wait to see it. and to squish it. So very excited about this spin. I'm very happy with how it came out. This is my first time spinning with Corriedale, and the spin that I did right before this was with Targhee, and I feel like the difference between these two fibers are really different. Like I can really tell the difference. So I feel like Corriedale also, if my descriptions are completely wrong or the way that I think some things are similar but maybe are not to you, I guess it's opinion. And also maybe I kind of wonder if, like, could you get Targhee? There's different kinds of Targhee and they could feel different, you know? So anyway, I feel like the Corriedale feels most similar to BFL to me. It was a lot easier to draft, like to pull the fibers apart. The Targhee one was a bit tough for me in the beginning, and I think the way I described it last time was that it was sticky. Like all the fibers really just like stuck together. I remember in the beginning when I worked with the Targhee, I was like, how am I supposed to pull this apart? Like it's not pulling apart. I don't know how I am going to do the drafting. So, but I eventually got used to the Targhee, and it was kind of nice that they all stuck together, because for this one, the Corriedale, it was really easy to pull it apart, but then the fiber itself, it kind of kept not splitting, but like, it was just like kind of hard to like keep it all, not all together, because it was all together, but I don't know, there's something about it that made it a little more difficult, but it could have just been me transitioning from getting used to spinning with Targhee and then going to Corriedale. But overall, I really liked it. Again, I'm just curious. I'm very curious for like all of my handspun to be like, okay, this is how it felt to spin it, and then to actually knit the yarn, like to see how it feels. So yeah, very excited for this. I do like that I have a plan for this yarn, and I'm so excited to knit with this one for the Cinnabar shawl. Okay, so I think that is it for my spinning. I think it's a lot. I think I got a lot done for my spinning this week. And okay, on to some acquisitions. So staying with the spinning topic, I did get my Nest Fiber monthly fiber, or the Nest Fiber Club for August, because I love spinning and I love all the colors from the Nest Fiber Club and like all the past colors, and so I signed up for the monthly club, and I signed up for I think it's called like the mixed fiber, so because the Superwash one was sold out, but I think this one's interesting because then I get to try all different kinds of fiber pretty much, and I am okay with that. So funny, we were just talking about Targhee, but for August, the fiber that I got is Targhee, and the colorway is Cassiopeia. And the reason why I'm grabbing it like this is because it fell out of the bag, but you can see the colors on this. Very pretty. And just like so happy, all the happy vibes. Surprisingly, the colors that I've gotten, like they are pretty bright, but I really like it. I really like it. So I have yet to spin something with the Nest Fiber. So I really want to spin something with the Nest Fiber. So yes, oh sorry if you can hear the crinkling bag, but again, this is that fiber and the colorway for August. And yeah, so my plans are, so once I'm done plying the ones that are on my bobbins right now, I'm gonna ply these. My next spin will be the hand-dyed fiber that I did, and it is smaller. It's 2 ounces, so I think that will go pretty fast. And then after that, I want to spin something with the Nest Fiber. I think I'm going to love it. So those are my plans for spinning. Okay, next up, I also have yarn acquisitions, so let's talk about them. Okay, first up, now what am I trying to say? Okay, for Woolberry Yarn, she is doing a Rewind collection, if you haven't heard of it, and so every month she is bringing back a colorway, and if you collect all 12 of this year, that there'll be a discount code for something at the end of the year. And so I am planning on getting at least one skein of the Rewind color every month. And so this past month, I believe, was Flock, which was a colorway that she brought to Flock Fiber Festival. And okay, I did buy this colorway on, I believe, Berry Merino, which is a fingering weight base, and Suri. But since I wanted one as part of the like Rewind collection, I decided to get 2 skeins of Berry DK. I'm pretty sure I can make some kind of like top with this, and also to see this colorway on the DK base. Very cute. And so I did get more of this colorway. It's also really cute. It's such a good colorway, and I really like it. So I did get 2 skeins of this from Woolberry, and then I have more Woolberry yarn. So, okay, this was from the Collective, so I am also in the Woodbury Collective. Excuse me. And this was probably last month's Collective or the month before, and I decided to get, so usually every month, or well, not usually, it's like always, every month there are 2 colorways to choose from. One is usually, well, as far as I've been in it, and I think I've been in it for like a year now, it's a tonal, 1 tonal and 1 variegated, and I usually just get like one of them, but this time I liked both colors, like both the tonal and the variegated, and so I got 2 skeins of each, all in the Berry Merino base, which is the 100% Superwash Merino base. And okay, let's talk about this one. This one is called Let's Go Party. And okay, now the sunlight, there's like this light here, so maybe I'll just hold it to the side. But maybe the light helps to show you like the glow that this kind of like has. But it's just a really bright, cute, dark pink purple colorway. And again, for me, like 2 skeins of fingering can make me most tees or tanks, and so that's kind of my default if I don't have like a specific project in mind. But I think as like a really bright, I guess on camera it might be looking kind of dark, but it is, I mean, it's not like light bright, but it's a bold color, I would say. So I think it'd be cute as a tank. And then this one, like if I had to choose one or the other, it would have been this one. Like I like both, but I really like this color. This one is Stone Fruit, and this variegation is just so good. Orange, peachy, pink, brown. It's just so good. Really like this. So also 2 skeins of Berry Merino fingering because I can make a tee or tank with this. So yeah, I know that we are going into fall, we're going into cooler weather, but I don't think that will stop me from making tees and tanks as long as there's like a pattern that I'm like really interested in making. So I think that these could be worked up relatively in the near future, but I also have other yarn that I want to make things with. But I've been going through my yarn pretty well with a mix of like things that I've gotten in the past that I haven't worked up yet and like new acquisitions. So I feel pretty good about how it's been going. Okay, and then since I talked about, these aren't really like yarn acquisitions, but I did do some yarn dyeing, as I mentioned a little earlier with my fiber dyeing. I also did some yarn dyeing, and this round, so I've done a couple like trials of yarn dyeing, and I feel like in this past weekend, I got some really successful results. I really like the colors that came out of this, and so I will show them. I made 4, and I will just pop them all up here. And then I will show them individually. These don't have like color names, but I'm just trying and experimenting and seeing what I like. And hopefully we'll make sweater quantities of them in the future. Okay, so I do want to hold both of these up together because these are like 2 of the pinks that I made, and I really like both of these pinks. Obviously they're very different, and so I like them for different reasons, but I really love and have been wanting to make like a really good like light neutral pink brown type of color. And so this is basically like a mix of some pink and brown, and I think it came out really cute. Like, I think this is a keeper. Like, this is something that I will want to make again and maybe use in like some kind of variegated color also. Like, I really like this. And then for another pink, this one's got more depth to it. It is slightly darker, but still like muted. Is it mauve? Would you say that? It's definitely more on the purple side of pink, but still pink, I would say. And I love it. You can tell that it's not, like, there are definitely like darker and lighter spots, but to be honest, like, I actually really like that in my tonals or like tonal colors. Like, I do like that, so I am very happy with how this came out. I used a mix, quite a few mix of dyes that I had to make this color, so, but I think it was definitely worth it. I really, really like how this came out too. This is also a keeper. Like, I like that I now have colors of yarn that I'm like, that's a keeper recipe for the future. So these are like the 2 semi-solid colors that I dyed. And then I also tried some variegated yarns. I like both of these for different reasons, and I'm trying different variegated dyeing techniques, and so I also want to figure out how to, or not figure out how to knit with them, but I want to knit these up to see how a dye style for variegation shows up in a knitted up something. So I'm very pleased with how this looks. This one is like a brown, light brown, dark brown, variegated yarn, and I do like browns, and so I actually really like how this came out. I also feel like this is a keeper. Depending on the style of dyeing, I may like try different ways of dyeing the same colors and seeing how that turns out, but I'm very happy with how this came out and how it looks right now. Very pleased with this. And then, like, I feel like it looks good with this pink. Don't you think? I did use a brown, the same browns to make this pink in this skein, so I think that's probably why they look, at least I think that they would look really cute together. Ooh, but yeah, so again, just overall very happy with that. And then this is like the fun, colorful skein that I made, and it just has a whole mix of colors in it. Brown, really like dark pink purple, an actual like purple, peachy, a really dark peach, which kind of is looking red on camera, and the main base is kind of like a brown beige color. And that's just fun. Again, I use a different dyeing technique for this one versus this brown one, and so I would like to knit both of these up. I don't know if I want to try and knit like a full garment with it, like some kind of tank top that only uses one skein, just so I could see how it looks up in an actual garment, or just do a gauge swatch, because I don't know. But anyway, so those are all of the yarn. It's so fun to dye yarn, and it's really fun to play with colors, and it just takes a long time. but I think the results, especially this week, were worth it and like really exciting. So that's been really fun. Okay, I also want to talk about, I actually have like future plans I want to talk about in a video, because usually I have a lot of future plans, but sometimes I don't talk about in the video because it's like, sometimes it changes, sometimes like, you know, I'm not planning on casting it on anytime soon, so I don't really want to like, feel like it's a waste to talk about it just because there's so much of it, but these ones I definitely want to talk about. First up is the Friendship Pullover, which is a pattern by Aimee, sure. And if you've watched last week's video, or if you watch Megan, she has a podcast that's a_naughty_mess on, well, that's her handle for Instagram and also her podcast on YouTube. And she is a friend of mine, and we are doing a really, really casual, laid-back knit-along for this Friendship Pullover. Basically, we both just want to make this pullover, and we thought it'd be fun if other people also wanted to join. So that is coming up really soon. I think actually September 15th is our start date, which is the end of this coming week. So it's in like a week, or less than a week. 6 days? It's about a week. And it's a really casual knit along, so you can, like, if you want to join us, feel free, so we can all match with Friendship Pullovers. But you don't have to finish. Me and Megan's finish date is October 20th, so we're giving ourselves like about a month, and it's a short timeline, but you don't have to finish by that day. You can just gauge swatch or anything like that. We have a hashtag that we are going to use. It is PKW Friendship KAL. I have it in the description down below if you want to follow along or post something with it. And yeah, so it's just going to be really chill, really relaxed. And oh, this is another acquisition. I finally got my yarn in the mail for this. And okay, so I ended up getting yarn from La Mercerie. I got Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the colorway Plum Clay, which is this color. I feel like it's a really like dark purple. Not dark purple. Maybe it's more like a light purple, purple gray. And I mean, it kind of has similar vibes to the vest I am wearing. Also, this lighting is just like not, like it's like this, the vest is purple. And so when you compare it to this, it doesn't really look purple compared to it, but it is purple-ish, probably more gray. But I really like this color. I think it'll look good with the cables and to have as a full sweater. So yeah. So that is the yarn that I will be using for my Friendship Pullover. And I am ready to cast on. I should probably gauge swatch, but yeah, I am ready with my yarn now for this. And then another future plan. Okay, I had this great idea because I saw this pattern, this new pattern release, and I just loved it. And I might want to cast it on this week as well. So this pattern that I'm talking about is the Asu sweater by Serena. Her Instagram handle is Ozuko Knits, and I believe, so I've never heard of her before. I was not following her Instagram, but I believe she works at the Wandering Flock, and so this is, I think, how I saw this pattern. And it was just released, like I think a couple of days ago. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It is spelled ASU. And the pattern is a sweater or a pullover that is knit sideways. And it is two colors. So down the middle, like one half is one color and the other half is another color. And the sleeves are worked in the round, and I just think it's so cute. I was actually looking for or wanting a sweater pattern that was half and half, and And then this one just popped up, and I was like, it's perfect. And I've never made a sweater where the construction was worked sideways, so it's not worked bottom up or top down, it's worked sideways. And so I'm very intrigued by this design and like construction, and I'm so excited for it. And I actually have yarn that I want to use for this right away. Like, I thought about this and I was like, I think it will be really cute, and I wanted to share it with you all. And okay, so also this comes up, okay, let me grab the yarn. Okay, this comes up because for my size, and actually for a lot of the sizes, you can use, if you're going to do 2 colors, you would need 2 skeins of each color, fingering weight yarn, to make this. And I was like, what do I have in my stash that are 2 colors together, fingering weight, 2 skeins each? I have been stocking up yarn like this. Okay, it really hasn't been that long, but I have been wanting to make multiple, what is it? Oh my gosh, what is it called? The shawl. The half and half triangles wrap by Pearl Soho. I have one on my needles right now, and I have like 2 or 3 more yarn quantities, which are pairs, like 2 colors, each with 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, to make a half and half triangles wrap, mostly because it is my way of being like, instead of getting sweater quantities of 2 colors that I really like, I will just pair them together. So that's a total of 4 skeins instead of like 8 or something sweater quantities. So I can make something and still have the yarn. I don't know if that makes any sense. I was trying to buy less yarn, and I was like, half and half triangles wrap would be good for me to get more colorways, less yarn. But also, how many half and half triangle wraps do you need? I'm still trying to make my first one, and I'm enjoying it, but if you may have noticed, it was not shown in this podcast video because I didn't work on it this week. But anyway, long story. Basically, this is the color combo I want to make this Asu sweater with. And because these were going to be a half and half triangles wrap, but now I could turn this into a pullover, and it can be something I can wear all the time and to wear outside. And because the half and half triangles wrap, I was like, might be a lap blanket, might be a scarf, but then you'd only wear that outside if it's like really, really cold or standing outside for a long time, and I'm usually not. So wouldn't this be cute? One side is a variegated and the other side is like a tonal. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea, and I might cast this on right after this video, or might cast this on tomorrow, sometime this week, but I really want to make it, and I basically have even more ideas, like yarn combinations to make this sweater with. So I am now like, I think half and half triangles wrap and this Asu sweater, even though I haven't made it yet and I haven't finished my first half and half triangles wrap, would be all good candidates for 2 colors that look good together that I want to get and to make something with. So, and if you're wondering, these colors are both from the explorerknits National Parks collection. This one's Chinley, which is a color that I absolutely love. I bought this colorway in so many different bases because I love it so much. It's like a dark purpley brown color. And then this one is Bryce Canyon National Park. Both of these on Denali sock, and I have 2 skeins of each color. And I think it would be so cute in this sweater. So that is my plan. I am so excited for this, and I'm also really excited for my friendship pullover. So many exciting things, and I also just need to finish some other projects so I feel less guilty about casting on new things. But again, I finished this vest this past week, and so if I cast on something new, although I already cast it on like the Manhattan hat this week, but it's also a small project, so and it's with Handspun, so yeah. Anyway, okay, So those are the really exciting future plans that I have. And then I think that is it for the yarn stuff. I do have some fun things that I kept meaning to talk about this because I feel like I haven't had like a non-knitting chat session at the end of these videos. I haven't had that in a long time, I feel like. So just something really quick. I have been watching Only Murders in the Building. If you haven't heard of it, it is a show on Hulu that stars Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. It is hilarious. It is so funny. I didn't watch it when it first came out. Like when season 1 came out, I was like, I had no idea what it was about. Like I saw commercials for it, but I was like not really interested. And then I think sometime last year, like after season 2 was fully out, I think was when I watched season 1 and 2. Really liked it, and season 3 is currently like coming out. I think there might be 2 more episodes left in the season, and I have been watching that. So funny, and I just really like this show. Let me know if anyone else is also watching this show. In the beginning, I thought that it would be a scary show because it's called Only Murders, like murder. Although I do like true crime, some true crime. So, but I didn't know that it was like the 3 of them, the 3 main characters, making like a murder mystery podcast or like a true crime podcast. Like, it's so funny, and it's actually just funny. Steve Martin and Martin Short together are so funny, hilarious. Let me know if you also watch the show because I've been trying to get other people to watch it because I think it's a good show. So I hope that they have a season 4 pretty much. Yeah. But anyway, it's been really good, really exciting, so I've been watching that. And then another update, I feel like I haven't talked about skating in a long time, just because, like, I've still been skating, but I'm still working on the same program I've had. I have a skating competition coming up in a couple weeks, though, so that is what I wanted to update you all on. Pretty nervous about it, to be honest. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I get so nervous for competitions, but I do like my program. I'm trying to get it better, make it better, working on things. It's just, skating's hard. Skating is really hard. So it's been a little frustrating as of lately. Like, some skills I just feel like I'm not getting, but it's always nice to be with friends, like skating friends who also, struggle. Like, we're all struggling together. Skating is a hard sport, especially for adults. So anyway, the community has just been great though. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to update you all on that since I haven't talked about it in a while. It's kind of random, but I just thought I'd share. Thought it'd be fun. Okay, and I think that is... No, it is not. Okay, I feel like I keep having these like fake endings for my videos, but it's just because I just remember things. Okay, literally like as soon as I was going to start filming this video, I got the email that I am in a test knit. So excited for this test knit. It is for Coley of Paisley Knits. It is her Kalani blouse, and ever since she first showed like she was working on it, which I think might have been a year ago, I was really excited for this pattern, and I was really hoping that it was going to come out, and also if I could test it. She had a test call earlier this week. I applied. I am so happy to be testing this pattern. I think it's going to be really cute, or I mean it is really cute, and I'm just really excited to see everyone's version of this. It is her first pattern, her first test knit, and so that's also really exciting. And yeah, so I haven't looked at the pattern yet. I haven't looked at who else was in the test knit. I literally just got it as soon as I started filming. So I am excited for that. Just wanted to put that out there because that's another cast on that I will cast on this weekend. So anyway, okay. So now we are done for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I would love to hear about what you have been working on while watching or listening to this podcast, because again, I just love seeing everyone's like patterns and yarn combinations and just like new patterns to me. Really like it, and it's just so much fun. And yeah, I hope you all have a really great day on whichever day you are watching this. Don't forget to stretch and take a break from your craft, whatever craft that may be, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!